What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'll give you the moon, all right?
I'll take it. Then what?
I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you talking to the moon and through the window in my room. There's not much I love to say, and I don't have the strength to fight. I feel that inside like I've been buried in a grave, and you step in my soul at night. You stepped away. Oh, here's to you. I down a couple more to drown the pain. No, I'm not alright. I'm not gonna lie. I give up my life to have you in my life. Maybe in another life, it'd be just you and I never stopped loving you. I want you back. You back. I want you back.
All right, welcome back to the best NFT show in the world. Thank you guys for showing up early on this beautiful Tuesday. We're bringing you the NFT news from around the industry. We're packing it all into one episode so that you can stay up to date on this fast-moving industry and all the news that's happening in the world, man. So, Ronan, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Shout out to everybody who's here in chat for being here today. We appreciate you showing up nice and early for the show. XP, we see you. Choina, Hash Rhymes, thank you so much for all of the help that you give to the community. We appreciate you so much. Matt Radke, how you doing? Cryptophasia, our vibe, our tribe. How you doing, Q?
I'm doing good, man. With a little bit of a gutter cat fiasco before the episode. Solana crashed today. Solana wasn't producing blocks for like literally hours. So I don't know what the update there is, but yeah, it's not looking good. Arbitum was down as well. So some things in the broader blockchain and crypto industry kind of making their ways into NFTs right now. But dude, I'm stoked for the episode. Buff laid it down as usual with some nice tracks to get us started, man. I'm super stoked for today's episode. We'll get to the episode preview here in a second, but I do want to bring my man Crypto Buffalo in here. Buffalo, how are you doing, my man?
I'm shocked. If anybody was paying attention, some gremlin decided to hit go live. That I don't know how that happened. I have a whole protocol before we go live, and we started a little early there, so y'all get to hear a little bit of that banter that happens as we get each other pumped up to go. Shout out to X-Wow.
Oh, God.
Love you, dog. Meant nothing bad by it. Yeah, you know, these things happen from time to time, but it sounds like we were a little early going live, so people got to hear a little behind the scenes. But hey, that's live, man. That's NFT live.
I guess it is, man. That's showbiz. Well, you know, we had a great time, me and Ronan here in NFT NYC. We got to meet each other in person. Ronan, how are you doing with your headache? Anything from that night on Friday or Saturday?
First shout
Thursday?
out to DA Sales. What's up, brother? Yeah, I think that I woke up Friday definitely with a hangover. I want to shout out Bob from Super Chief in New York and Matt Medved for hosting us for dinner. It was a really good time. We got to meet a lot of really cool people. Shout out to everybody who came and hung out with us. We had a blast. The party at the Personal Corner Des Bryant launch event was really, really cool. Thank you to Dan and otherwise known as Money Mac for giving us the invite. It was really cool, man. We got to meet some of the Gutter Cat guys, right, who do some of that content. We got to meet Blake Jameson, who did the art for the Juggernaut project, as well as Dez and Annie Milonakis and like a bunch of random people. It was a really good time, but obviously like my favorite part being the dinner that we had before that was just like people in the space, right? Like that was cool, man, to like just sit down and like riff about NFTs in person, like, you know, face to face. And it was cool because some people were talking about DAO, some people were talking about taxes, some people were talking about like collectibles. And all the while, you know, one table next to us sits down and halfway through realize that the guy who's sitting at the table is an engineer over at OpenSea. Like,
Yes.
what are the odds, right?
Yes.
So a little kismet there, and I think that like it was a really good time, man.
Yeah, I've got some pictures pulled up on my screen from the night, and I gotta say, Ronan, best hug I've had in years is going to be that one that we shared, just seeing each other for the first time. It was like two best friends reunited from like 10 years ago, but it's really only been 1 year, man. So definitely a big shout out. We got some pics in here. We got Dimitri. We got to meet. He's an NFT. There's James.
James Westfall, shout out, man. He was awesome, dude. It was such a good time, man. I had so much fun, and like just getting to like riff and like to see like, you know, people who have been building and who are putting in the work like all the time. I mean, those guys from the Gutter Caps, man, they're doing like Twitter Spaces. Those are so funny. They're doing Twitter Spaces like, you know, 2 times, 3 times a day sometimes. And when you're grinding, man, it's nice to like go out and then just like reap the benefits of like the work, right? Like
100.
And so yeah.
100%. So here's what we got on tap for today's episode, man, because we definitely have a full one. We're going to bring in a interview here with the Next Cartel. We're going to have them on live to talk about their project, doing digital physical stuff there. We have Dreamers that we have to get to, CyberKongz, Gutter Cats, of course, BAYC, the blue chip in the space right now, Metalands, this new NFT gameplay that NFTGG put us onto, Veefriends, I think going on CNBC to talk about their latest announcement, and Koin Games that we'll recap at the end of the episode. So that's really kind of the episode preview, the episode rundown that we have, man. It's a packed one, per usual. That's what we have to deal with in this space. It feels like just we're barely covering, you know, 50% just in this dashboard here, man. It's crazy. It's nuts. But we do have this episode preview to get to. I want to get back to Buffalo. I'm going to throw it back to him real quick for a quick LADZ preview. We have a new content creator on the channel. Technically an old content creator. He's been doing it on the Discord for us and on his own channel for a little while, but he is going to be on the mothership this weekend producing some content. What do we got, Buff?
Dude, that's right. He calls himself Fun Uncle. So all your nieces and nephews out there, tune in on Sundays. If you can't catch him live, don't worry. He will be uploading a lot of his amazing pieces. And he likes to start a lot of his shows with a fun little startup.
Hey, my cornstarch crusaders, nieces and nephews, what's going on? Your neighborhood fun uncle Richie Kilpatrick is back at it again with yet another top 5 altcoins to watch September 12th, 2021. How's everybody doing? What's everyone feeling and thinking? And join me in the LADZ City Lounge. We're talking about all things LADZ City. And the first thing right off the bat I like to do is promote our LADZ City Lad of the Week, who is none other than EZIN Crypto.eth is our LADZ City Lad of the Week. Yes, that's right. He is the man, the myth, the legend, who has been doing more than just promoting LADZ City. He's also branched out. He did a trip to Colombia to do an NFT conference. He's working on a documentary about his travels right now. So he is a person who has spread his wings and is doing big things every day, and he has earned a spot as our LADZ City Lad of the Week.
Dude, huge shout out to Easy. And that's Fun Uncle right there. He does now a whole bunch of different things. You got top 5 cryptos, you've got the market, and you've got the LADZ City Lounge show, which is now just covering a lot of what's going on in LADZ City. So if you guys haven't watched Fun Uncle yet, don't worry. He is now going to be uploading to the mothership starting soon, man.
Oh, man, Fun Uncle. Win NFT merch for his Hawaiian shirt collection there. I feel like he's got a Hawaiian shirt for every episode, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, man. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to get into the remaining part of the episode. I do have the winner. We had a Uniquely competition, so we're working with Uniquely to launch our first NFT physical merch. Speaking of physical merch, we're launching this with Uniquely. They have an awesome platform that allows you to redeem NFTs for physical merch. I've got it pulled up on my screen here. The first bridge between NFT and physical products. We had a competition running for $1,000 in ETH for someone who was designing the NFT pieces here. So we got a bunch of submissions here. You can see we got some LADZ City logos. We got some Our Vibes, Our Tribes. And we are going to announce that 808 Dave is going to be the winner for the episode or for this competition here. We are going to work with him to kind of launch this. So we're going to kind of say, hey, let's tweak a little bit here or there. But 808 Dave, we loved your base design here. We are going to work off of this to launch the first LADZ City digital merch. via uniquely. So big shout out there. Also a big shout out to Radkey, who is doing fantasy sports in our Discord. They did it this Sunday, and they had some LADZ rewards there for people who have participated in the weekly fantasy sports competition. So that's a lot of LADZ news. Usually we're not running a lot with the LADZ news, but what do you think about that, Ronan? And then we can run into the episode.
Yeah, no, I love like the spotlight on the community, especially like shout out to Easy, a super huge lad. We appreciate all the work that you put into the community, man. 808, congratulations on winning that competition. And to everybody who's here hanging out, we got like almost 40 people in chat. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here today. We do ask that if you guys are enjoying the content, that you hit the like button for us. It does a whole lot more than just kind of light up red. It gives us a little push on the algorithm, and it allows our content to get seen by more people that need to see it, especially when they're searching NFT live on YouTube. So if you guys don't mind, make sure you're subscribing as well. And if you really enjoy the content and you want to make sure your friends get in on this next interview and get that alpha that comes after, then go ahead and share the link on social media, Twitter, Discord, drop it to your favorite community. We appreciate you guys so much. And thank you. So.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we have a run-in. We have a run-in for our first guest here on today's episode. We have an awesome interview here with the Next Cartel. We have the team here to talk about it. We have a great run-in that we're going to play, and then we will bring them in.
Amsterdam 2171. The Next Cartel is honoring the birth of a next forward-thinking society, bringing humanity forward in functionality and style with TC 2171. We aim to raise awareness of the urgency of climate change and its consequences. As with each challenge, there's a blessing in disguise. So we fearlessly celebrate the growing sense of community and the care for one another that inexorable fate will be a breeding ground for. As humanity is ready to rise above and beyond the surface level of what city life used to look like, brace yourself to level up with us. Remind, recognize, reunite.
I love that video. You guys did such an excellent job on that video. Welcome to Adeline from the Next Cartel, and we're glad to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. The video is super, super cool. I think you guys did an excellent job. Tell us a little bit about exactly what the Next Cartel is and what you guys are trying to accomplish. Oh,
She's muted on her end.
you might. I think you're muted. You're muted. Maybe. Nope. I like how she got closer.
We'll test that one out here. See if we
We're
can
not
get that
seeing
dialed
anything?
in. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna Buff is gonna try to dial her in, and while Buff is trying to do that, maybe we can riff a little bit about what's going on in the news. Maybe, I don't know. Let's touch a news story.
If you could ask her actually real quick if the guest could just log back in, if she could.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If Adeline, if you don't mind, could you just kind of log back out and log back in? Production is telling us if you can just log back in, it might just be a connection issue. And while she does that, Q, how are you feeling, buddy? Oh no, you're muted.
We're going to have a strong filler here today.
Oh my God.
So this is what we're doing. We've got Gutter Cats that I really want to touch on. So Gutter Cats released their roadmap here, and we are going to cover that while we wait for the guest. We have a roadmap 2.0. Do I hear the guest there?
Yep, the guest audio is back. If you
Okay.
want to, we can jump
Just
back
throw
in.
it on back. Gutter
There we
Cats,
go.
we will hit you there in a second.
We got you back.
Awesome. Amazing.
Why don't you just go ahead and jump straight into letting us know what exactly the Next Cartel is doing in the space, and about a little bit about the fashion line and what you guys are trying to accomplish with your message.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so the Next Cartel was originally founded in Amsterdam. We're now based in Barcelona. I'm Swedish, many nationalities. we're an urban platform and also creative agency, and this crypto interest has been a big thing for us, and especially for me. So we decided a while back that why not get involved in the NFT space, and then all of this crazy concept that we now have created came to life. So it's been like a long creative process actually of coming up with this concept, and we have the fashion line that we're now launching is all set in a futuristic time, 150 years from now, in Amsterdam, in Holland. And as we all know, the sea levels are rising, and certain cities are gonna, or lands are gonna disappear in like less than 100 years. So actually we're here creating a future Amsterdam, how it's actually gonna look maybe then in 150 years when this city is gonna be submerged in water. And we have created a collection that is taking this into consideration and equipping the inhabitants of these kind of water-filled neighborhoods for both living in water and also on land.
I love that. I love that like the project has a message behind it that's trying to spread awareness, right, through like the branding. And as we see there, you guys have put together some really cool pieces as far as fashion is concerned. Can you tell us a little bit about like what the sale is going to look like? You know, how many pieces do you guys have total in the collection? And then kind of like what that experience is going to be like.
Yeah, the first one, we have 6 different pieces. And they come in like different colors. So in total it's 11. We're gonna auction out the jacket, which is like the main piece, and it comes with these goggles for any diver. And then we will set the other ones out for sale, like at a more fixed price. And all of this is going to be launched on the 30th of September.
Very cool. Now, one of the things that you guys are kind of looking forward to is, you know, being able to present more awareness towards like climate change. And I think like through that, like, I'd love to hear a little bit about what your plans are. Like, are any of the proceeds going to be going to charity, or are you guys kind of trying to build awareness through a storyline that you're kind of creating? It seems like there's very much a vibe and almost a universe being created through the TC 2171 project.
Yeah. So we are creating value, I think, as you mentioned here, through the storyline. This is how we're doing now, because of course we're all investing our passions and our hearts and our energy into this, and everything that you do in the NFT space, I think, is a risk, you know. Like every time that you start with something new, you know. So God bless that the continuation of things, you know. Keeping the continuity in this is gonna bring us all the success that we wish for this project. But having planned for the future is I'm not gonna disclose them just yet, but we have collaboration in the works with a very, very cool, actually American brand that also work a lot with sustainability, and they have like really beautiful missions on how to actually act and take care of this planet. So what we're working on with them is for next kind of universe to present their ethos, you know. So really try to bring this and keep going with this as a theme, and reminding people about our, the human effect that we're having on the earth right now.
So, Adeline, tell me about the details of the actual drop here. We know that it's happening later in the month. And I think September 30th is the date that I saw. What are the details for the actual pricing, as well as the amount that is going to be available for somebody that's interested now, maybe watching right now?
So the jacket is going to be up for sale as an auction. So we're going to have a bidding starting from 0. And then the other pieces are going to be available for set prices. And I do not actually have this list in front of me right now, but it's going to be somewhere between 800 to 2.5, I would say, dollars.
I see.
$2,500. Like that's our price range. So, and we have not disclosed, like we have just disclosed one of the products so far, this jacket, which is like the main piece. And then we have, you can kind of see them in this video that you showed in the beginning, you know, but we're gonna drop the images of these pieces as we go along this month. Actually, tomorrow we have another interesting drop. We have made a collaboration with a company that creates AI avatars. So we actually have an AI avatar that is going to speak and present this all in like kind of a news format. And we're dropping this video tomorrow, and she is actually explaining a little bit more regarding each of the pieces. So keep an eye on that for tomorrow.
I love how you guys are like really leaning into like this entire brand that like lives in the metaverse, that is in the future, that like by using, you know, an AI reporter to kind of announce the news and more details is an excellent like little twist onto like, you know, what you're doing, keeping it very in universe, right? So you know, definitely let us know like where can we find out more information, where can we follow like the Next Cartel to like ensure that we're getting the info that we need leading up to this drop. Where can people find you guys? And then in the meantime, we'll shout out to chat. If anybody has any questions before we let the guests go, let us know in chat.
Definitely. Please ask questions. And you can follow us on the Next Cartel. We are as that on Twitter. And also to be able to get these pieces, we're working together with Gig Labs to build our own NFT shop or marketplace, how you want to call it. So they're all going to be available on the nextcartel.com actually. And you can sign up there on our website by clicking TC2171, which is the name of the brand, by the way. 2171 standing for the year 2171, 150 years from now. So this is the name of the brand, and you can sign up for the updates regarding the drop, and everything is going to be sold on our website on the 30th.
Amazing,
Cool.
amazing stuff. Yeah, thank you for coming on. This was a great explainer of what you guys have coming. I'm excited to see future releases. Do you guys have those planned after this initial drop with TC2171?
Yeah, so we have, as I said, I'm not going to disclose it because it's not official, but we have one collaboration with another American, more kind of lifestyle clothing brand. And we are in the works with some artists as well, some music artists, to do some collaborations. And we have another few planned things that I'm not going to be able to talk about just yet, but I think, but I'm very, very excited about actually what is going to come along, because I see so much potential in what we're fusing, like NFT with environmental consciousness. You know, this is incredible what we can do with this. And also being able to show, you know, now we're showing an Amsterdam in water, but what could it be if we show another place, the utopia, for example, of how we really want it to look like? So there's so much to play with in that, and yeah, it's great.
I love to see how people leverage like the technology. Yeah, I like to see how people leverage the technology of NFTs to like kind of to different use cases, right? To be able to bring awareness towards something that we're dealing with as a, like, you know, as a global community is an excellent use case for NFTs. So thank you so much for joining us today, for shedding some light on the Next Cartel and what you're doing with TC2171. We definitely want to hear from you again when you're getting a little bit closer for some more details. And after you guys get the chance to announce some of those really cool partnerships.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for having us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Doing a good job here. We love
it. We love you for coming on. Thank you so much.
I need that energy. Let's
go. Very cool. Thanks again. Have a good night.
All right.
Yeah, dude. I love like when like you have projects that are just doing something different. You know what I mean? Like we talk about gutter cat and profile picture shit all day long, and like all these projects are almost vying for like the same, like we've talked about it, the same little small piece of real estate, right? So what else can we do with the tech, and what else are our brands, experimenting with? I love the idea of them, kind of where she was getting at with like Gig Labs, since, for clarification or whatever, like I work with Gig Labs. They're going to be doing this really cool experience where you actually go into a rare rooms, which is like a 3D gallery, right? It's going to display all the pieces. You're going to be able to walk up to a piece. You're going to be able to click on it and like place a bid. If it's the auction, you're going to be able to purchase one if it's one of the ones that are going to be available for more wider purchasing. So bringing like that kind of like storefront like vibe, right? So super cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where digital physical goes, man. Like, as you can see with the gutter cat thing that we're about to get into here in a second, like we're still so new that people are trying out cool new ways to actually merge physical and digital together. So anytime I can see a project like moving on that front, I'm just bullish on the whole space. So yeah, man, we'll be following this group here, and shout out to Adeline for coming on, and we'll move into the rest of the episode here. So we have a full rundown for the entire topics and main topics here. We're going to start with our sponsor for the month, which is going to be BitElectro Labs. They have an upcoming drop, actually, a Dreamers drop, where you are going to be able to get a PFP and use it in a game with some DeFi integrations where you can earn tokens. Gabe as well. Like, I'm looking at good teams when I'm trying to find good projects right now, at least, right? When there's 1,000 products launching each month and all these different things, I'm looking for the best teams. Gabe is shipping, and his team is great there over at BitElectro Labs. So let's run this little update for Dreamers and their drop, and we will get into the main topics. So that is the Dreamers drop that is upcoming. I've got a couple blog posts to kind of go through with you guys to be ready for this. Now, if you actually did have Dream Loops already, because they did launch those audio-visual NFTs about 2 months ago, a lifetime ago, basically. And for every 2 Dream Loops that are held in the wallet at a time, collectors will receive 1 Dreamers PFP. And one of the dopest things that basically all of BitElectro Labs does is actual visuals, right? You can see that it's not just a static image. It actually has some movements. There are going to be audio pieces here that like 8-bit music that you hear there as the trailer was playing. That is going to be associated with these Dreamers NFTs. So really excited as far as, when you're looking across the landscape at what PFP projects might do well. You have to look at kind of like past success. You have to look at the team, and Dreamers definitely has both of those, as well as some really dope, just really dope NFTs here, man. Like, that's at the end of the day. I like the visuals of this. I like the way that they've had this. And then you have the game integration that is already being shown there in the trailer. It's just full package for me. So shout out to Dreamers, man. Shout out to BitElectro Labs.
Yeah, I love these, man. Dude, these are really cool. I think that when you look at projects and you're trying to figure out like, where do I want to put like my funds, like for like long-term value, you definitely like, these are the ones you're looking for, right? The people who are like actually creating experiences using the NFTs that they're putting out there. And to be able to buy Dream Loops, have the 2 of those, get one of these Dreamers. I think the Dreamers art is really cool, man. I love the fact that they're going to have like the voxel, characters in the sandbox for you to use. And then the audio, the visual, the whole package. And when you're looking at like, where are the best like places to be, it's when they're building brands. In my opinion, like you're building a brand through Dream Loops, through Dreamers, through this entire experience. And that's like the type of stuff that I like to see in the space, man, long term.
Yeah, and we host a Metaverse event every month with these guys. So really, at the end of the day, we're super tied in with them, man, as far as aligned with their vision and moving the space forward. So I did drop a giveaway tweet there in chat. You can actually click in right now and you can join this giveaway for 10 Dreamers NFTs when they do launch. And then one last shout out, looks like they did update their website today for the actual Dreamers drop. So boom. Again, Gabe, big shout out to you, man. Keep building, and we will get to the next piece, man. Thank you so much.
Yep. So next up, we got a little bit more news that does involve voxel models, and that's that the CyberKongz VX are coming to the sandbox. And not only they're coming to the sandbox through the use of those 3D avatars, they actually have a pretty fleshed out experience coming our way. And essentially what this is these are going to be kind of like these, what's the best word for it? These kind of situational experiences, right? Like you've got like, I think 3 of them, right? There's one that's going to be like a city, the other one's going to be like a futuristic setting, but you're going to be able to use your 10,000 original CyberKongz VX and take those models into Sandbox and play these games, right? There's one of them that's the Shrine of Kongs, which is just one of 3 different spaces. I think they said they're building out that you can go in and have a full-blown gaming experience using the NFTs. You know, if you guys have not checked out the Sandbox, it's definitely worth looking into. When you talk about long-term sustainability in the space, Sandbox is definitely going to be here for the long haul. The projects and the names and the brands that they're pulling into NFTs are big. So when you have an NFT native brand, right, and project like CyberKongz jumping in and having a massive, presence in that space, it means a lot for not only like the brand itself, right, CyberKongz, but also for NFTs as a whole, and that, when it comes to adoption. So shout out to CyberKongz, super cool. I wish I would have gotten a VX, and I wish I would have listened to Lander on CyberKongz.
Yeah, I think he was telling us about the OG Kongs, man, like that original Genesis bunch. Yeah, that's fun. Those are like 15, 20 now. I think even more for some like super rare ones. But anyways, that was CyberKongz. Yeah, they're doing a great job. You know, they have that DeFi aspect where you can earn bananas as well for your NFT assets. So really just absolutely killing it. They have one of the biggest plots in the Sandbox, and just having the Sandbox there in general. Yeah, excited to see that platform launch, man, because for the right now they're onboarding so many brands, but just thinking about when it's fully fleshed out and all of these, you can hop between all of these awesome spaces, CyberKongz, and then you hop over into Dreamloops, and then you hop over into Bored Apes, and it's going to be fun.
City.
We're just hop into LADZ City, like you're just sitting on your hands as a gamer right now, right? Like there's nothing out there. So all right, so this has turned into quickly one of the funnier stories that will grace the dashboard today. It's going to be Gutter Cat Fiasco. It was originally titled Gutter Cat Roadmap, so we had some issues here. I'm going to pull up the roadmap first. First of all, in this roadmap 2.0, this image right here that you can see of like a Gutter Cat Last Supper, that was actually airdropped onto Gutter Cat holders this past week. So yeah, really nice little surprise there for Gutter Cat holders. And obviously the art is like super sick. I love the Gutter Cat vibe. But we did have some roadmap updates here as I go down. It looks like the DAO is actually committing 500K to community-led initiatives. They're announcing some multiple metaverses. I had a House of Kiba here that I'm going to show. They're making some metaverse, looks like attractions where there's actually going to be a Gutter Cat, lounge there. You can see the 3D voxels, rats and cats. Merch drops, which we'll get into in a second, and then IRL meetups. There's actually GutterCon happening here, I believe in the next week. So we'll be able to kind of throw that out there. But specifically on the merch, okay, they did a really cool merch drop where you actually had to go to OpenSea. Okay, so you have Gutter merch, you have this collection here. You can see the activity here on the screen. So kind of holding its value there, but basically you come in here. So if we're looking at a floor piece, you can use this NFT to actually redeem on the website. So I'm going to try to pull that up here. Let me see if I can pull up Gutter Cats and the merch drop itself. Might be able to. While I'm pulling that up, Ronan, what do you think about this this merch here that you're kind of getting a visual of on the actual cats themselves?
I think when it comes to like the space, dude, merch is what we need. Merch is what we want. Merch is what people are out here like really pining for. I do think that as we get into the story a little bit, people will find out this might not be the best distribution model for some, right? And we got to figure out like, where do NFTs make things cooler and better, and where do NFTs cause a problem? So do you want to talk about where they caused a problem for you today? Because I think it's a costly one.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe if I read something all the way through fully before I kind of ape into things, maybe I wouldn't get myself in this trouble. But basically, what happened here is I believe I burned my merch NFT. So originally, I thought maybe that you burnt the actual NFT and you got access to a store. Actually, the NFT's properties had what you were getting. So in the middle of redeeming, see if you go and buy an NFT merch, you come here, you click redeem, and it shows you that you got a large black hoodie, a hat, another tee, and it shows you the actual sizes. And I'm like, well, shit, I can't fit into a medium anymore. It's been a while. But the actual properties were on the NFTs themselves, which I think it's dope, but it's something I didn't expect. So as you can see, inside of each of these properties, you can see the sizes. You got medium, you got tie-dye, you got another medium tie-dye here. So I didn't understand this. I went back and tried to get another one. And in the meantime, I burned the original one without claiming and getting it sent to my address. So that is what happened today. That was about $250 down the drain, unless something else kind of occurs or you guys have it in the chat for me that actually didn't happen. But super interesting process that you had to actually buy the NFT merch, use the token ID to then enter into this interface, and then actually claim merch that was essentially free, right? You're paying for the NFT, you're not paying for the merch at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah. But the key component there being that the NFT that you're using is very specific. It's a very specific item. It's not a general access or anything like that.
F and chat.
F's for that one. So make sure that you guys are double checking and reading roadmaps before you try to ape into something.
Dude, I will, I'll die on this hill, man. I love Gutter Cats and I love the vibe. We actually got to meet Gutter Dan there in NFT NYC. So I will be fine with that little burn of $250. F in chat for sure. The last thing I want to do before we hop out of Gutter Cats is play this little highlight here of kind of their city and kind of the vibe that is being created here with this community. I'll burn 250 for that. All right, you guys did a great job building your vibe, your community as well. So I learned my lesson, but really interesting way they went about that NFT merch sale, man. So I like people that are innovating a little bit. So speaking of innovation, you got the next one.
A little.
Yeah.
So the next story up we've got for you guys is going to be some updates on the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So what exactly is going on with the Bored Ape Yacht Club? Last week, if you guys didn't know, 101 of the Bored Apes sold in a lot in an auction for $24.4 million. And yeah, that's real. That happened. They're digital apes. But most importantly, they are part of what I think could turn out to be a major branding move. I mean, think about who purchases something like this large, number one. And number two is think about the fact that they now own 101 different identities in the Bored Ape universe, right? What comes next for the Bored Apes? I think that long term, it's going to be interesting to see what does the buyer do? Do they parse it out? Do they sell it? Do they keep it? Do they monetize those images, right? There's a lot of people in the community who are leveraging the fact that you own these ape images to create brands, right, through their apes. So that's a really interesting conversation to have. The conversation actually started off with what if Amazon or somebody bought that? How crazy would that be?
Oh,
Right. So next
so
up in the news
Netflix
is
as well.
yeah, exactly. Like Netflix, Amazon, you know, HBO, whoever. Now they buy 101 of these things, and they can create an entire universe, right? Like maybe they can't call it Bored Apes, or maybe they call the Bored Ape Yacht Club and they work something out. Who knows? And imagine what that brings value-wise to the original 10,000 apes. So it's definitely something you want to think about. Here you have it on the screen. Mike Shinoda of Lincoln Park jumped in. He's now an ape holder as well as a Tezzards owner. I have not been following the story on the Tezzards. However, I'm an ape. He's an ape. Hopefully that means that something's going to be happening between us and Mike Shinoda at some point. We put into the universe, guys. We wanted him on the show. So make sure you guys are tuning in next week, 9/21. All right.
9/21.
Some other big updates for them was the fact that they did launch the treasure hunt last night. If you guys were not aware, that is the last check mark queue of Roadmap 1.0, which means all we got next left. The only thing that the Bored Ape Yacht Club is on the hook for next is Roadmap 2.0. What does Roadmap 2.0 bring, and what does the value of Bored Ape Yacht Club, like what does the value look like after the next roadmap announcement?
Yeah, it's definitely a large discussion here to have Bored Ape, but I wanted, you know, okay, so before we kind of hop into the actual details for what happened with this treasure hunt, I think, you know, $90 million is a ton. I've kind of made it, you know, my opinion is with $90 million, they can do a lot for their holders. They said that it was going to be the only drop to actually increase the supply of the number of members, right? So they said no more mutant, like nothing after mutants, nothing after kennel dogs. We're done with that. Now it's all going to be, you know, derivative based. I don't know what that means, but they have a ton of money to spend on their community, which I'm bullish on, right? That they're going to be able to use that money to fund a lot of cool things. And I'm bullish long term. I'm holding my apes. You know, it is what it is. I just think that when you put that amount of money into a project, you can start to do a lot of interesting things for the community.
Yeah, I think it's something that we're going to see a lot of. And the cool thing about Bored Apes, Gutter Cats, Cool Cats, the community really takes charge on a lot of this initiative, right? They're building the brand value themselves through just being owners, right? So like one of the things that we had a chat about with somebody in New York who just secured a physical location in the city where the plan is to make it a ape only club. So now imagine like you're only attending these parties that are happening in New York if you actually have an ape in your wallet. And what does that mean for that location? What does that mean for locations in other cities, right? Like do Bored Ape, you know, coffee houses like start popping up? Like do Bored Ape, you know what I mean? Like what are they, the prohibition age? Like, you know, like what happens next? And I think access is very important to these communities, and physical like location access is definitely going to be a huge part of 2022. I think that we're going to start really looking for solutions on checking wallets, checking for verification of ownership at live events, not only for collecting like NFTs, but also to like access these spaces.
Yeah, so we have DP that's talking in the chat here. We have Gabe in the chat actually asking, what are the deets on the scavenger hunt as well? I've been too busy to play. What's the reward? What's happening? So, you know, just like Ronan's talking about there, where they're able to create, you know, exclusive clubs or exclusive experiences, they're going to be able to do things like this. So I have it up on my screen here. They have this scavenger hunt game. Basically, they hid a bunch of Easter eggs in this kind of location here. And we can see as I click through, you're able to kind of go into each little section of the house. And then what you're supposed to put together is an answer, right? There's an answer to be had at the end of the scavenger hunt. You put it in here, and if you're the first one to actually win this, be the first to solve this puzzle, you win 10 ETH, Bored Ape number 10, BAYC Club Dog number 10, and an M2 serum and a special surprise. So damn! It goes without saying. I just like that I was speechless there for a second. Like, this is an example of what Bored Apes can do with $90 million. I mean, they could buy a floor ape even if they don't have any, you know, in supply, which is hard to believe. they could do this in the future, no problem, and start to make huge rewards, which then gets the community involved. I mean, if you're looking on Twitter and you follow any BAYC people, everyone's just furiously trying to solve this puzzle here. So there were initial puzzles, there were some initial answers that came out, but that's basically what we have here with the scavenger hunt game. You're supposed to play the game and enter an answer at the end of it, and that's continuously ongoing. So there's a final answer at the end to be had for the actual winner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Marty
And I
McFly
think-
is saying somebody already beat it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Marty's been actually on top of this, by the way, from the beginning. So huge shout out to Marty McFly. It looks like someone did actually win the final prize here. So, sheesh.
Yeah, that's got to feel good, man. And they were up all night. And that's what's cool is that you know, that we joke about it, man, but you really cannot sleep in this space because an NFT project can drop in the middle of the night. A treasure hunt can be, you know, set off in the middle of the day. You know, who knows what the heck's going to come next and what brands and like creators are going to drop on us that just get the community like feverishly running and trying to like collect these things, right? Like that's what's cool is like, can you be the first? And I think that's a huge part of this experience is like knowing the alpha, being first to the punch, knowing, you know, the codes and having the secret access. So, you know, we live in a crazy world, dude, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're really gamifying this stuff and making it fun. That's what's really cool about NFTs. Regardless if we go down or up or sideways from here, it's been a fun space to be a part of. So, all right, this is a super interesting game I'm about to get into. They have a trailer that we're gonna play up front, but I'm actually, you know, I aped in last night after seeing NFTGG's video on this on the LADZ City Network. So he creates a video right now once a week on Mondays that we then get to you guys on the channel, and he basically has a project spotlight where he touches on some NFT play to earn gameplay of a variety of projects. So yesterday it was about Metalands, which is a like FPS. First of all, I've been waiting for an FPS. So they're in super alpha. So before you watch this, know it is super alpha, but there's a token associated. There's going to be, you know, crafting and all of these different cool aspects. So without further ado, let's run the trailer and then we'll talk a little bit about Metalands. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was a good trailer that they put together there. Again, the actual gameplay itself didn't make it that much into the actual trailer, but it's super alpha. It's going to be on Steam. So I've got it up here on my screen here. This is their website, Metalands GG. As you can see, in-game assets is NFTs. That makes sense, right? You can go into the marketplace. You can have trading marketplaces for anybody that played Counter-Strike Global. They actually, the Steam marketplace is somewhat decentralized compared to its, counterparts. You can actually sell stuff for USD, but it's nowhere near what we need from, blockchain and play to earn experiences. So you can see buy CFI, CIFI there. That is a token that's associated. It's going to allow you to do things like craft, to build better, bunkers, which we'll get to here in a second. But shout out to NFTGG because this is a really under the radar product. Again, I own CeFi. I bought in last night, but this is like $10 million market cap here, guys. So it's up 27% since yesterday. This is a alpha drop basically. Again, nothing is investment advice. You got to do your own research, but I really like where we can go with this project, seeing as it's only a $9 million project. Going back into the actual gameplay and things like that, this is basically your bunker. You're going to be able to do things like craft and build your character from there. You're going to be able to bring in your buddies here if you want to play a multiplayer game. It looks like there's some bunk bed action. But basically, man, FPS, play to earn shooter. We'll see, where they are in their timeline. But it seems like, we might have another, play to earn NFT game here relatively shortly. So any questions on this one, Ronan?
No, man. I mean, I think I get it. Like it just makes so much sense, dude. I've been waiting, like, who's going to bring the CSGO experience to NFTs? I guess the answer is Metalands. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, I want to temper expectations because I believe, it's such at an early stage. But I think, just the basics, right? Being able to have a token associated with an FPS shooter. We'll see where it goes. I believe they have plans to move to Polygon. Currently the token's on Binance Smart Chain, and they have their own token and own protocol basically with Citizen Finance. So that is going to be that for Metalands. Hopefully you guys got some good info from there, and we will be. I think GG's talking to the team, so we'll be monitoring that shortly.
Very cool. Very cool. So the next story up is Veefriends. So if anybody who has been on Twitter at all, you've probably heard the news. Veefriends announced this morning via, I think, CNN, that they they're going to be auctioning off 5 of Gary's original doodles that were eventually turned into Veefriends. And that is not a little news, right? Like, we're seeing more and more of this. And the conversation we had prior was like, this is something you want to see. You want to see like the attention. You want to see like, obviously the value being put on NFTs proper. But like, at what point are Christies and Sotheby's doing it more maybe for the marketing? I understand punks. I understand apes because of like what they've become. I also understand, I guess, like Veefriends to an extent. I feel like maybe it was a little early for that. But look, the attention is always a plus, and obviously Gary's bringing a lot of attention to NFTs, and it's just going to help onboard more people. The more people that are onboarded, the more people that support the ecosystem, the bigger the ecosystem is going to get. So I think it's excellent for the space overall. I do think that like at some point, like you start to like say, okay, like what exactly is the purpose of the auction, and what are we trying to do here, and see like, what other projects we've got out there. There's a lot of cool projects. Mooncats, we talked about Mooncats a little bit. So Mooncats are going to be in auction as well. Another OG project that did some really cool stuff kind of early for what they were, right? The ability to kind of go in and purchase upgrades for your Mooncats, these little like, clothes and doodads and things. And not a lot of these projects that are dropping today, yesterday, this week are doing things like that. So the historical value obviously is there. And I think for this, it's a brand, and it's one of the biggest brands like to come into the space and really utilize the technology well.
Yeah, I think you made a great point on Sotheby's and Christie's using these as like marketing opportunities almost. I mean, when you're going down the list, like CryptoPunks was one thing, Bored Apes is one thing, but then you continuously move down. Like, where do you? It almost seems like exchange listings at some point, right? To us OGs, like Coinbase at first only had 3 assets, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I believe Bitcoin Cash. I can't, for the life of me, never remember that third one. But now you see they have 30, 40, 50 assets. So I wonder if that's going to be the same with Sotheby's and Christie's, where they're just moving on down the line. And when can we see a Super Yeti, on Christie's? Like that's the real question. When can we see Super Yetis with Christie's? There he is, ladies and gentlemen. I was waiting for it, and we got a Super Yetis appearance, man. Super Yetis is going to do awesome. They are going to outlive 95% of PFP projects. I said it on my Twitter this morning. They are literally the meme, and memes have survivability, man. They last over a long period of time. So even if the dev team completely rugs, I think Super Yetis, just on the collectible standpoint of being like one of the worst PFP projects of all time, is going to do well. So don't quote me. Buff, did you have that video with Gary Vee? Do we want to show that or no?
Yeah,
okay, yeah, let's do it.
Now, you might remember how a few months ago NFTs and non-fungible tokens were all the rage. After all, we talked about them on this show on more than one occasion. After a bit of a summer lull, they are now back in the spotlight. The US Open tennis tournament launched its first NFT with entrepreneur and one of this market's pioneers, Gary. And there's more. He's about to auction some of his NFT artwork at the auction house Christie's. I'm pleased to say that Gary Vee, as he's commonly known here, is with me now. Gary, great to have you again on the show.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the exhibit that you coming up, this partnership with Christie's. What can we expect?
Well, you know, a lot of people forget that there's a lot of ways to use NFTs. They may eventually be tickets. They may be access to a restaurant. They may be many, many things, not just art. And my project, Veefriends, was very unique because unlike most projects that are all made in digital art, I actually made them and drew them myself physically, then clamped them with PSA, and now I've teamed up with the most prestigious auction house in the world, Christie's, to auction off 5 original art pieces. So not the NFTs that a lot of my community is holding of the 5 characters, but the actual original art. And I think that that will inspire people to continue to be creative. There's so many ways to slice this.
And we're seeing some of that. I think I just saw a fly and a gorilla as we're looking. But explain to our viewers, Gary, you know, why partner with Christie's? I mean, is this you trying to target a new audience, you know, or is this trends that you have seen with, you know, the purchase of other NFTs?
There?
Yeah, there's some.
Could you imagine telling?
This is some weird. So yeah, let's hop out of that one and talk a little bit about Gary Vee.
I should have kept mine.
So I think, you know, Gary hit the nail on the head with his comment there. People underestimating the project in the, you know, OG NFT land. I did, you know, I didn't like what was going on, but we knew that it was going to have some mainstream appeal. So I guess that's where we are now. It's gotten us to today where we see, you know, Veefriends over other projects at Christie's, man. So I don't know. What do you think about his comments there on CNN?
Yeah, I think that like they're accurate, right? Like I think that a lot of people like downplayed it, but I think the access is the most important thing. The interesting is that like right now the only access you really get is Discord. Like everything is kind of like promises at this point, right? Like he's not like flown anybody out to meet him for lunch or anything like that. At least to my knowledge, if I'm incorrect, please someone in chat will definitely correct me if I'm wrong. But like, you know, I think that it just makes sense. And when you have somebody like Gary who moves the needle, who has the fans that he does and does something that's absolutely genius, like the launching a book sale and then telling people to get an NFT if they cash in 12, you know, and then there's multipliers and all this other stuff. Like, I think that like when you combine this technology with a marketing genius, you're going to get some really cool things. So don't downplay Veefriends and I think honestly, don't downplay any of these projects that are attached to like a person or an access to a specific environment, right? Like I said it right before the show, I think I'm going to jump into the personal 88 for Dez, because I think that like the ability to attend his birthday parties, to attend home games, to get personal corner NFTs in the future that are automatically going to get dropped to me. I don't have to worry about gas wars and fighting other people for like my juggernaut, you know, collectibles. It's kind of worth it. So I think that, you know, projects like this will continue to come out, and access to these really exclusive celebrities will continue to be something that we see in the space.
Yeah, I would most likely agree, and I like what Dez is doing. So yeah, find good teams, find, you know, great personalities, and we'll see where we can go with that. So all right, I've got a piece here that I'm going to bring up. It's going to be about Mooncats, right? So we already touched on a little bit of, you know, Christie's and Gary Vee. Well, Mooncats, it looks like it's getting the Sotheby's treatment. I'm going to try and find the actual piece. It looks like we have it right here. So this is from actually Alan Henna. He talked about Sotheby's next month. Not surprised that a historic NFT collection is being auctioned with a historic auction house. So it looks like this is from the Discord and an admin there saying Mooncats are going to be a Sotheby's at Sotheby's in mid-October, which if I pull up Crypto Slam, you can see the effect that that's had on actual Mooncats. So this actually was, I believe, like even, you know, an hour or 2 hours ago, because it's on a 24-hour time frame, this was like at 4,000%. So rocketed to the top 5 here in amount of sales. And, you know, Mooncats is just seeing that treatment. So yeah, we already kind of had the auction house conversation, so we'll leave that for another day. But yeah, Mooncats got that as well. Is that Cryptoads in the top 4?
Cryptoads. Dude, that crap dropped while we were in New York. I didn't know what the heck was going on with that, man. I'm kind of sad I missed out. But I did catch Mooncats. Thank you, Alan Henna, for tweeting about them a month ago.
All right, so apparently Crypto should have made the list here for a second consecutive episode. I'm going to touch one last piece on Koin Games. So Koin Games, we had Tim Yesta and the team on NFT Live last week. He talked about his drop that happened last week. It lasted a ground total of 15 seconds. And it looks like the floor is about 3x what the mint price was. So again, these PFPs here that you see are going to get you access to free founders cards. It's going to get you access to heroes cards. It's going to get you access into a seed round. So each one of these PFPs is actually worth $1,000 in allocation to the seed round. So there's a lot of interesting things happening. Another, phenomenal team here. This is why we're highlighting them for a second consecutive episode. I'll take you one time into the actual OpenSea storefront where you can see the floor price is around 0.24. I believe that. Yeah, so 0.24 here for these. And just shout out to the team there. The seed round hasn't been announced yet, so there aren't any details on if you own any of these, if you're going to be able to get into, or when you will be able to get into that seed round. So we're still waiting on that, but yeah, shout out to Tim Yesta and the team. And that is it for Koin Games.
Project, excuse me, the project, excuse me. What I really like about Koin Games is the fact that there's an actual product there, that they're going about it in this really cool way where they took these PFPs, but then they added like nostalgia and they gave you. But my question to you, Q, is like these projects, especially the PFP ones, once they drop, like what's the value for like the secondary? Where's the hook? Right? There's such a lull. Like the part of like what makes these things exciting is like getting the asset and then seeing the reveal and being like, which one did I get? Which one did I get? Right? How do you think we deal with that moving forward?
That's a cool conversation to be had because we saw it with OniForce. I think OniForce is a great example of a project that everyone was like, holy shit, this is awesome art. And then we've yet to see really any updates besides the derivative pieces. Like there have been so many Oni derivative pieces made and they look really dope. I think just on artwork alone, I still love OniForce. I still love the vision for the team, but we did see that lull period and then we did see the dip. So I think it's a great conversation. As far as it's related to Video Game Dev Squad, the one piece, although, just being from outside, I'm not on the team. You're always looking at regulatory stuff in this space, right? So the seed round is something I would be looking at that would drive, secondary market sales, right? Because, right now, even though maybe, development's going to happen in 6 months, people are trying to buy at the floor to get access to the seed round. So in my opinion, that's a utility right off the bat that is going to continue to drive people as they hear about it to want to get in.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, on the long term, though, I mean, you know more about it than, or we know about the same. I feel like it's basically community building, right? Like that, it just comes down to your unique community and what events and what kind of things you can do as you get, the features rolled out over, each quarter.
I think that's where like I'd love the conversation to shift to like projects need to just wait until they actually have that pipeline of content to launch, right? Like how cool would it be if one of these projects launched today and then next Monday you got access to like, play the game. And then the Monday after that you had access to like actually import your character. And then the Monday after that, they drop you their droids. And the Monday after that, you're getting the weapons. You know what I mean? Like I want a project that like it gets launched and then every fucking day I want to jump in and I want to know what the heck is going on. I want to know what's coming next. I want to know how I can collect. For anybody who collected in the top apps, they know that feel of wanting to get into the community every single day because there was always drops, there's always sets, there's always something to collect, trade, swap, whatever. Like NFTs need to take that evolutional step forward, right? And shout out to XP. This is the end of the show. We're not going to talk about anything else really intense at this point, but RFox Vault land auction started this morning. I really honestly don't have that much news about it. If somebody wants to become the RFox like ambassador for LADZ, like shout out to us, let us know.
Expo is that guy.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, somebody wants to like hit it up with like, I didn't get any of the news. I don't know what happened. I know that it went on sale this morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning our time. I know that there's an auction taking place. I think they're doing 15 pieces of land or something like that, not a shit ton. And I think that their idea of having a metaverse that's 100% strictly focused on events on one side and then shopping on the other is super smart, man. The team at RFox are very intelligent people. If you guys want to know about a long-term project that you want to be looking at, you definitely want to be looking at RFox. I just don't have time.
Man, I feel like we were some of the first people covering wax. I really do feel like we were some of the first people covering wax projects, just getting into it. And it's a little bit up against my nature to be, favoring one blockchain over the other. We're pretty blockchain agnostic here, but it's really a impediment to be on wax, in my opinion, at this point, with all of the things that are happening in the NFT space. They just have not come along. I would be interacting with them way more if they're on Polygon. That's just my personal opinion. Again, I'm on BNB, I'm on Wax, I'm on ETH, I'm on Polygon. I'm not trying to like throw shade. I'm on Solana when it works. And it's like, listen, I would interact with them a lot more. We were some of the first people in on the Wax blockchain. And sorry to say, like, that's just what it is right now, man. Like, it's not that popular. And I feel like, it could be, doing a lot better. So, that's their own thing to work out, but definitely a shout out to our Fox team, man. I remember interviewing them back in the day and they were great. They were absolutely phenomenal.
Excellent team. They've got excellent plans. They're going to work it out. It's going to be awesome. Definitely, make sure you're watching that project.
Yeah. Back to the original, conversation, and we'll cap out the episode here, guys. So thanks for tuning in to NFT Live today. But the original convo of like waiting, it's like, first of all, if you were in 2017, that's all we were doing. You were buying tokens to like wait for a project that was going to launch in 2 years. So it's a little bit better now, but it still isn't where it needs to be. As a gamer, I'm just waiting on that's why when I see a project like Metalands, which is frankly, like not that, mind blowing in regular gaming space, but I'm just super stoked. I'm waiting for anything. Let's just do it. Let's have something ready. And I am so down for that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the next iteration. I think that's it, man. I think that we've covered it really well. Again, shout out to everybody who's been hanging out today. We appreciate you for being in chat. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you're liking the episode, you're subscribing to the YouTube channel, and you're letting at least one of your friends know as often as possible that we are on live every Tuesday around 2:30, 3 o'clock Eastern. And we're here every week. We've got a nice vibe. We got a great community and we've got excellent content for you guys. So make sure you're tuned in. Make sure you guys are here next week. Make sure you're here next week. I've already dropped enough hints of who we're having on next week. You guys should be here next week. Don't forget it. Fucking NFT Live. This is the best, man. We love you guys. Do you have anything else to say before I send them out?
No, man. I want to do a Deadhead shout out, man. We had the Deadheads team on. I love throwing up the deuces at the end of the day. Apparently this is the Deadheads. So I love he came on and was like, yo.
I got to get a picture.
I love it.
Shout personal corner. I need a photo. Somebody got a photo of me, Dez, and Andy Milanakis flicking off the camera. And I need that photo. Please get it to me. Anyways, we appreciate you guys for being here. Q, you fucking killed it. Buff, you did an awesome job on the sticks. We appreciate everybody hanging out. That's our vibe and our tribe.